everybody, welcome to Miscast Commentary. I'm Joe Finley.
And I'm Todd, Tebow the Sailor Man.
Huzzah! He's on a terrible angle, but he insisted he's not, so that's how he stays. Awesome stuff. How are we doing, man?
I'm just getting ready to plug my new product, V8, which is why I put the camera on a slant. After I drink the V8 beverage, it will upright itself, hopefully.
Oh, that's hopeful.
Remember that advertisement campaign?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a good one?
No. No, it was fine. Yeah. Whatever. Who cares?
It was all right. It did the job.
Awesome. So some stuff to talk about this week. People, just for topical purposes, because this is the episode that's coming out next Tuesday. Yeah. It's coming out next Tuesday, so it's like we might miss some stuff, so don't think that we didn't think about it. It just didn't happen yet.
I missed a lot of stuff, let me tell you.
Yeah, the future is wild. And one bold prediction for the next 6 or 7 days.
Lockdown.
Okay, so we're back in lockdown, and President Trump died of COVID.
Oh my God. Wow, he's unkillable. Yeah. No way. He already got it. He whooped its ass.
I know. He looked... I just saw some pictures of him. He's literally just been wandering around Mar-a-Lago since he lost.
I know. Apparently he showed up at like some wedding and just started rambling about nothing about the people. It's like, why would you even let this man speak?
But he looks like he looks like he's deteriorating. He's lost a ton of weight, and he's just like...
Oh, that's not good.
It's not... No, but
oh my God.
No, yeah, well, he's the kind of guy who's like, I'm going to eat until I die. I think it's at the point now where he's just going to die.
Oh, my word.
So that's my call.
Well, who's going to go for the 2024 then? The Rock? Somebody's got to go up against The Rock and his tyranny.
Oh, my God, The Rock. I'm waiting for it.
I know what the future's going to happen. Dude, I sat at home and I watched all the Trancers.
Oh my God.
And 3 Nemesis movies. So
Nemesis?
I know exactly what the future looks like.
Oh, yeah? How's it
look?
look?
Somebody running.
Yeah.
Somebody ripped running while things around them blow up. Oh my God, you should have seen this movie, dude. Like Nemesis. Oh, in Nemesis 1, the Beast looked like... well, whatever. The guy that played the Beast looked like the Foe, pretty much.
Really?
But this guy playing it turned out to be the dude who directed John Wick movies.
Oh, really?
He was the monster.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then in the next one, it's not even first it was Olivier Gunner. He was like this big. He was going to be big. He was going to be, right?
Yeah.
And he backed out of Nemesis 2, which was a bad call. And then he's in that one. And then Nemesis 2 is a creature after this big ripped woman, like in the African desert. And the movie is so amazing.
Yeah.
This monster, you know, like when you see the Predator, or you think like, oh, something's kind of weird there.
Yeah.
This thing is just a big, black, huge costume with that slapped over top of it.
Oh, really?
So like he's even more visible than you would just see him. And you just like lumbered along. That's the future.
Brilliant.
And inside that thing's probably Trump.
Probably.
He no longer can be sustained off of Diet Coke and cheeseburgers from Thing.
Hamburgers.
He doesn't know what to do now.
No doubt. No doubt.
Vegetables will not go down.
No matter how hard he tries. My last weekend was built with watching The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about that. I didn't finish the newest episode, but I don't care, whatever.
I didn't finish the newest episode either just because I've been waiting to watch it.
How many are there?
2.
Okay.
So I've just been waiting to... Well, there'll be 3 by the time this episode comes out.
How far did you get in the second one, the new one?
I didn't start the second one yet because I was waiting to watch it with Carrie, and we haven't had time to do it. So we're going to watch that tomorrow.
What's the deal with, like... You saw the first episode.
Yeah.
It's like, so now, like... None of the Avengers speak to each other anymore. It's like, well, after the Endgame shit happened, they're just like, see ya.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't even have, like, a job. Like, fucking the Winter Soldier sleeps on, like, the floor.
Yeah.
Which I think he prefers.
I was going to say
still,
that's why.
And then you got Sam who can't even purchase his family's boat. The guy saved the universe like 15 times. And okay, so what was Tony Stark paying them from his Avengers like feeded Avenger fund? Like,
essentially, yeah.
Yeah, and then he dies, and then they're just like, fuck it. Now the Falcon doesn't get any lunch.
Because he makes that point in Age of Ultron. Where he says, you know, like, Captain's the boss. I just pay for everything, make everything. Like,
but I'm like, that's so, like, the government is not pay them anything? Like,
well, because, and that's like, a little bit of the Sokovia Accords is this kind of like, we'll use you when you need you. That's when you have a job, essentially.
yeah, and it's like even to be on standby, you know, you'll get some change there. And he went on a mission right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I can't really talk about the second episode because you haven't seen it yet. But I was really you will have to talk about it when you see it because it's really like, what?
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, but I haven't gone through the episode, and there's like a lot of questions.
My only, like, I enjoyed the first episode. My only thing about it, it's not even really a gripe, it's just a comparison with, because when you watch the first episode of WandaVision, you're kind of like, whoa, shit, what's going to happen? Right? You're like, what's this?
Yeah.
What's this shit all about? Whereas this one is like, oh, okay, they're just setting up what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, and you understand that, and that's usually the first episode
Well,
of
of course,
anything.
and I mean, if it's going to be long or whatever it's going to be, right? It's not going to, it's, what?
It's not going to be that long.
Oh,
I lost
I think I just effed.
No,
So
my mic went out.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Oh, still doing
Bad. It's just a week. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. There. Oh, no.
No, again.
You can't hear you.
I can't
I
anything.
can't like hear me either whenever your mic goes out. Sold it there the whole time.
I know. There we go.
It's totally gonna fall right off.
No, it'll be fine.
That.
All right. So yes, that was my feelings about
And
that.
there's a lot that happens. Like there's the new Captain America guy shows up, and
we've got
there's all this. Well, we'll have to talk about it when you
there's
see it.
a lot. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, right.
2 weeks from now, we'll be all caught up on all the episodes, and we'll.
I hate to bring this up,
Okay.
but I feel like I must.
Okay.
Everything that I go on a movie website is just still talking about the Snyder Cut. And now it's gotten worse because, I'm going to go like to the beginning. Okay, so you got this dude makes a movie, and then he leaves the movie for whatever, family tragedy, whatever. Yeah. And this poor sucker, I guess, what's his name, has to step in. That sucks that he got a bad rap too, because he tried to just pick up the pieces of this piece of trash film and make it into something else. And then the number one thing that I've always said is don't feed the trolls. And what does Snyder do? He feeds the trolls. He's like, yeah, well, that's not the movie I wanted to make. I really wanted to make this big, long, awesome movie. And people are like, oh my God, we need to see this cut for some reason because, like, my life is not fulfilled if these fucking DC movies aren't any good. Like,
a cut that didn't exist, by the way. We talked about that.
And now the Snyder Cut is out. Yeah. They got their wish. Yeah. Oh. Only 1/3 of the people that have started the movie have finished it.
Wow.
That's honest to God. So, okay, so you're thinking every single person that bitched and complained, you would guess that they would purchase the WB network or whatever the fuck it is to watch these movies, but they probably still even didn't. Yeah. And then now the Snyder Cut is out, and people are re-evaluating the movie, and I think it's unbelievable. Like, IGN gave it an 8. Yeah. They also said, and I'm sure this is one of the things that made them, like, they were like, it's so awesome to hear Batman say fuck.
And it's
like,
not.
That's a big cool. No, but who cares? That's like, you know what I've always wanted? I'm going to say every movie, I'm going to take 1 point off of every DC movie with Batman unless he says fuck. You know what I mean? He's like, nobody's wishing for that. No. And now they're saying there was a review that was like, now watching this movie, and it's like, you turned a piece of shit into a shinier piece of shit. That's all you did. Yeah.
Actually, no, it's a more dim piece of shit.
It's like, these people are like, the characters are so much more drawn out, and even if they are, who cares? Like, it's still crap. No. So they're like, if you were to give the movie a 1, now they're giving it a 2, but it's like, it's so ridiculous. Like, the guy even said the movie wasn't really that good, but then gives it an 8. Yeah. And then says that Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, because this movie's so good and actually encompasses what they want to do, those movies are now great as well. And I'm like, what?
Man of Steel was okay.
I'm like, what? No, it was trash. It was trash, but
it ripped off too much stuff. That's what made me so mad at it. But it was
it was like write yourself into a corner, and then your fucking dad Jarrell will come in whatever form and save you. And, like, the weakest love plot ever. Like, you're in love with this woman, whatever. Okay, and anyways, so Zack Snyder or whatever his name is, should go to fucking jail for inciting troll riots.
Oh, man.
Just like Trump. And now he's doing it again because they give him what he wants. They give him $70 million to remake this piece of shit.
That apparently already existed. Remember that?
And so then like when he did it before by feeding the trolls, by talking about it, now he ends a 4-hour movie that he knows he's not getting any more cracks at it. He ends it on a cliffhanger. So now he can say, oh, I was going to make a 2, a 3. And in number 3, Batman's son was going to be the new Superman or something. Or Superman's son was going to turn into the new Batman, which means Batman's going to die like in 2. You know what I mean? It's like, holy fuck. And then he's out there saying this, and now people are review bombing Godzilla and Kong because it's Godzilla and King Kong's fault that Warner Brothers is not continuing with the Snyder verse. Yeah. It's no longer Snyder cut. Yeah. It's we want the Snyder verse. This is what happens. Like, you know, there's some old homeless man shambling around, and you feed him. Yep. And you know what happens? The next fucking day you come home and he's in your lawn. And then the next day you come home and he's on your porch. And then the next day you come home and he's in your wife's fucking dress. And you don't have a wife. It's your fucking dress. Get out of my fucking dress, homeless man. That's what fucking happens.
I love you.
And it's fucked.
No, I know. I did a review for the show already on the Snyder cut. It was almost almost as long as the Snyder cut. But but what I said was basically the improvements that they did make in that, like, they did add a little bit more cyborg. I tried to kind of explain to people because everybody was like, oh, Whedon took Cyborg out because he's racist. I'm like, Whedon, a lot came out about, like, what an asshole Whedon is and that sort of stuff. And fuck Whedon.
I definitely don't think that he would have done, like, cut a whole character out.
But the thing was, he was in it less and whatever, I don't think that that's why he did it. I think the reason he did it because he knew that people wanted more Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman to an extent. They didn't care so much about friggin' the Flash and Cyborg in this, but the Flash would be higher than Cyborg in the hierarchy of people you want to see. So somebody's got to go. And then, of course, he was part of the troll, that Ray Fisher, I think his name is. He was part of the whole troll thing because he's the one who started everything with the whole Joss Whedon. And I mean, good, it turns out to be true. So
apparently
good.
He's a total dick.
I no harm in that. But then that became a whole, you know, you have to avenge me kind of thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. But in addition to restore the Snyderverse, they've also demanded the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
I know. It's like, so every movie that ever comes out, the director can now come out with the whatever cut. Like his, because the date, like, come on, forget it now. Like, ugh.
See, nobody asked for the Peter Jackson cut of Lord of the Rings. We got it anyways, and we were grateful because he actually took a good movie and made it better.
There's no going back. There's no going back after that one, man. I can't go back and watch the other one. Like, fuck that.
I did that because, again, I work at a TV station. We play the theatrical versions when they play on TV. And, oh my God, you're just sitting there and you're like, oh my God, did I fall asleep? Did an hour just pass?
What's happened?
And you're like, oh no, they just took out, like, you know, everything in the movie. Like, I'm pretty sure that Merry and Pippin just aren't in it. But it was, it was crazy. And I've been reading more and more stuff about this, but just the things I've been reading, and it's instant. I tested my theory because every single person I read who said the movie was good, I opened up and literally their last 30 tweets were Snyder cut tweets. Like, they didn't tweet about anything else.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. And this was over the course of, like, not just days, but potentially months or whatever. So these are just people who are retweeting and are doing whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, you guys. And, but that's...
I don't understand why it even fucking, like... Mm-hmm. You know, whatever. Yeah. We'll see. Now, like I said, like, he's been feeding the trolls again. He's like, I was going to make 2, 3, 4.
And that's the thing. Huh? And that's what's unfair, because this situation comes up, and it's not a usual situation. But then all of a sudden, he's like, you know, and I mean, this has existed in other ways too, like the Donner cut of Superman 2, or like, these things do happen, but it's just like, it was so bad because he came at it in such a weird, manipulative way. And I wrote a tweet recently, and I was like, he is the most manipulative person. I was like, I sort of respect him for it, because I was like...
Talked his way right into there.
Because he's like...
Fed the trolls, man. That's what he did.
Yeah, and it's just... It's been awful. But...
and what's funny is, too, is people, like, who's not... Like, this guy's, like, a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
This guy makes $200 million movies. The guy's got mad cash. Like, why are you worried about this guy? And his... Like, who cares?
I know.
Who gives a fuck about this guy's artistic vision or not?
Well,
like you're some troll guy sitting in your basement freaking out about a fucking movie.
Yeah. Well, and then I made the point too because the first shot of the movie is a thing saying this movie is presented in 4:3.
A fake IMAX.
Because they did a fake IMAX because they said to preserve the director's original vision. Here's a problem with the director's original vision. He didn't shoot it in IMAX. Therefore, he didn't plan on shooting it in IMAX. Like basically everything he's saying, he's like, well, I would have done this, but Warner Brothers wouldn't let me. Warner Brothers gave you $70 million additional dollars to make this cut.
If I was Warner Brothers, I'd never touch him again with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't give a shit what movie. Well, every movie he makes is a piece of... Well, no, not every movie, but
Dawn of the Dead.
Of them.
Yeah. And
Watchmen was pretty good.
Watchmen was pretty good. 300 was only cool because...
After you got over that, once you're not 15 anymore, you watch it, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, that too, you have to be like a friggin' hormone-induced male to enjoy the movie. But also, it was just a style we hadn't seen before. And then he started to do it all the time. Yeah. Like Sin City comes out and it's the same goddamn thing. I know it wasn't him, but like...
You're no Tim Burton, buddy.
But and then Sucker Punch comes out, and so it was basically he basically found the dimmer on editing.
I remember when they came out with that movie because the battles are supposed to be them like dancing.
Yeah,
right. Isn't it like their dances are the battles?
But it's actually them being raped.
They actually had the dances.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to see that cut.
Yes,
show
me the dance
Snyder dance cut.
I put out
Sucker Punch. We did start this one.
Here, you're leaving frame. No, right.
Yeah.
I put out another tweet saying I want the McG cut and not of a specific movie. All of his movies cut into one.
Nice.
Kyle Reese and Charlie's Angels have to cross paths at some point.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's...
Hey, did you see... Let's stop talking about this dirty Snyder.
McG! Why do you have to fire this guy? McG!
Did you see... the preview for Suicide Squad?
I did. That's actually on my list of things.
It was totally awesome.
It was a very killer looking movie.
I think it looks awesome.
And it's interesting. And we were talking a little while ago about how Sylvester Stallone was in the movie, but it was an undisclosed part. He plays King Shark. People got kind of bummed out about it, though, because I guess Ron Funches plays King Shark in the Harley Quinn cartoon, and they really like him in that, so they were kind of like, oh, we already had a King Shark, but all right, cool.
Whatever, it's Stallone.
I know, exactly. You don't say no to Stallone.
Yeah, come on now.
But no, I'm looking for...
who's the main bad guy?
I have no idea.
This looks like Edward James Olmos' dad running some kind of a Mexican cartel. I know, the guy, like, I see the guy, he's in so many movies.
I like somebody brought up the point. They're like, so the sequel to the Suicide Squad is the Suicide Squad?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, because it's sort of a reboot, but it's not because it's half of the cast.
Soft reboot.
Yeah, half the cast is still there.
And she's acting differently.
Yes. She's
acting like more like Harley Quinn would actually act.
Yeah.
Like I thought when somebody said, they said she's acting, which I think is weird.
Oh.
It's like you get multiple, like Jared Leto's Joker. Like how many movies do you need to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was also the Joker. Oh, fuck off. Jacqueline Phoenix beat you. Just admit it. Like, fuck off.
Speaking of, just going back to the Joker too, that was in the Snyder cut. He's in the scene.
I know.
He's for like a minute. And that's where Batman says fuck. They say fuck 3 times in it just to make there's nothing else in the movie that makes that movie rated R except they said fuck more than once. And they threw in a third one to get real edgy. So, and he just goes, and he literally says, and he's like, when I kill you, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. And I'm like,
oh fuck.
2 things that Batman doesn't do, kill, and then there's no reason on earth, for these movies to swear. There's no reason. I know
some bystander who's like, holy fuck, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, it had nothing, like, it's not like you've got, it's not like The Wire where you've got people and it's like, oh, well, that's, how they would talk. It's like, it's slightly lower educated.
Do you think that, like, Batman being the way that he is, he would look at this, see the Joker, be, oh, fuck, looks right into the camera, oh, fuck.
That would have been great.
Crowd's like, woo, he said it, woo.
That was a part of the nightmare sequence that they did, which was like an alternate timeline and all that, which is tacked on at the end of the movie for no reason. And which is extra funny because that, like, it was part of the reshoots that he was allowed to do. And then they were like, oh my God, they're like, the Joker and Batman scene is the best Joker and Batman scene in the history of Batman movies. Forget Jack Nicholson, forget Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, forget all of those. It's like, it's definitely these guys. They were never even on the same set together.
You just say things.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Like, what? I didn't even see those movies.
I know.
Like, this is the greatest and that's, like I said, it's like, it doesn't even make sense. You know, this is the one thing that the one thing that I cannot get over, that sells it so hard, that Zack Snyder does not get the characters, he does not get the source material. There's no way in hell the world's greatest detective, Batman, would be so mad at Superman to the point of killing him because he thought that it was Superman's fault that Zod and the other fuckers came down and destroyed the place. It's like, what are you, like, what? Like, why would that be the reason?
And then go back to Superman, and there's no way that Superman would kill Zod.
Yeah,
because he's like the only other people from his home world. He would imprison them again. And
exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh my God, just the fact that it's just like so dumb.
He does.
And that Superman's so dark, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, I don't care about the dark. I care, but it's like he's ignoring things, and it's not like you can say, oh, well, that's just because that's how you know other directors to do it. No, it's got nothing to do with that. That's how he's been for 100 years. He's not like somebody that fucking Tim Burton thought.
I tell you what, Warner Brothers is so done with it too. Like, it's not gonna happen. No. Like, go right ahead.
Well, and then people started calling for the air cut, and then instantly they tweeted out, they're like, it's not happening. And then somebody responded, that's proof that there is an air cut. Let's get it. And I'm like, you guys are just moronic.
I love it.
All right, let's get off of DC. So we agree, Snyder cut can go to hell.
Yeah,
Suicide
I'm not
Squad.
Gonna watch it, so I whatever.
Suicide Squad has my attention.
I guess you could get me to see, like, I never actually watched the movie, so like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, no, but
I watched the first one. Like,
but you weren't rating the movie. You were rating people's rating of the movie.
Right.
I rated the movie.
It's a rating of a rating.
And my rating was basically, if it was a 2.5 out of 10 before, it went up to about a 4.
Yeah.
But then it went back down to a 2.5 because they made it 4 hours long.
And like I said, just to prove the point, all these people went ape shit crazy, and 1/3 of the people that have started the movie have finished it.
Yeah. And I will point out to you, because, I mean, people who listen already know, but I'll point out to you that I actually went into this with as open in mind as humanly possible.
I was going to ask you that. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask you that, actually.
And I did say good things about the movie. Jeremy Irons was good in the movie. Like, there were things about the movie that were good. And I judged it as a whole movie, not a comparison to the old one. It was just, this person was good, this thing was bad, this idea was good. I did like that.
I hated their Flash. Hated him.
Oh, yeah, Ezra Miller, I didn't
Flash,
care for.
Ugh.
See, this is the thing, and this is another, I hate that we're still on DC, but it's okay. This is a thing that we always get with DC. Like, Marvel built, when they started building their TV world, they built it into the cinematic universe. Yeah. People were talking about the events of the movie or whatever. I know that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they basically did like a time travel thing and then left that timeline just so they could do their own thing. Right. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But most of the show takes place within the world where the MCU's been happening.
Yes.
Now, DC has a popular Green Arrow, has a popular Flash.
CW shows. The CW seems to do really good with those shows. Yeah. I don't watch them because they're like tweeny, kind of tweeny bait, but they do well. They're last 10 seasons.
But my point is, people love Stephen Amell. People love that Flash. People love it. You had guys. You could have literally pulled them in, made their universe part of your universe, and everybody would have been happy. And I think, and who knows? But
no,
yeah, fair enough. And then. But they're like, no, we're going to recast because it has to be a bigger star, but not too big a star. It's going to be a name where when we say it, you're like, oh, I think I heard that name.
Right.
And then you see them and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't like him. Like, that was basically what was happening. But yeah, anyways, so let's get away from that. Let's get to a different show. They announced the cast of Obi Wan.
Oh, no way. They did?
Yeah, they did.
When did that come out?
They start shooting next month.
No shit.
So, Ewan McGregor, obviously, returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Sweet.
I'm only assuming, but in the form of...
Ghost.
Ghost I'm thinking flashbacks. Hayden Christensen is returning as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader.
Cool.
Joel Edgerton returns as Owen Lars.
I can't believe they're giving Buddy another shot. Christensen.
You know why, though?
Cool.
This is the thing I like about because Star Wars is as toxic a universe as any of them.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But the one thing I really appreciate, they basically gave him after all that, they gave him the benefit of the doubt, because like just recently, not like COVID recently, but before that, he went to one of those like Star Wars Day things, and the crowd went bananas for him, and like they were in love with him. He did an episode of Clone Wars, like the recent chunk of Clone Wars. He's played Darth Vader a couple of times now in that way. He's playing him in this upcoming
cool.
thing. He's also
I like that, man.
Yeah. Also in the show is Kumail Nanjiani, who's going to be in the Eternals, the stand-up comedian who was in Silicon
he's all
Valley.
jacked now.
He's all jacked now.
I just saw him do like a gym and fridge, and he pretty much just admitted that like he starves himself and works out.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like shit. If that's what it takes to be a fucking Avenger. Fuck that.
Right.
Man,
well, some people get away with it. It's like, for like Ant-Man and Falcon and stuff like that didn't have to get jacked.
Yeah,
they had to
true.
be like fit, but
not jacked.
Yeah. Who else? So, you won't know this name, but Indira Varma. She was from Game of Thrones, actually. She's a character we haven't seen yet.
Ooh.
But something interesting, Sung Kang, who plays Han in the Fast and Furious movies, is in it.
No way!
But you know what's really funny? Han's full name in the Fast and Furious is Han Solo.
Oh, my Lord.
That was just a little joke they did. Now he's in the Star Wars universe. And O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's boy.
No way.
Is in it. So it's going to be interesting. I don't really know. Obviously, at the very least, a big portion of it's going to take place on Tatooine, but you assume that every now and again he's going to get pulled away because he's either chasing something down or.
What's the time? Like if it's him.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be like.
In between,
I would say almost directly in between when you see him leave Luke with
the kid.
Yeah, leave Luke with Owen and Beru, and when Star Wars starts. I feel like it's gonna
right.
So you're probably gonna have like a 10-year-old Luke, maybe.
Yeah,
so that's what I think.
Cool.
So yeah, that's cool. That starts.
You're gonna bring back the kid that played the young.
That would be. Oh my god. That would be amazing. Even though he's not still a kid, they didn't keep him like that.
Oh, they can CG him.
They can figure it out. But yeah, it was fun to look that up today because we got coming up. Obviously, May is coming up, and we're doing our May the 4th episode. We got another
That's
Star
what
Wars
I was thinking right when you said that.
So yeah, it was fun looking into all that.
Nothing's come out after the Mandalorian, right?
Not Star Wars based,
right.
But there's so much because you've got that Andor. The Cassian Andor show that's coming out. You've got the Ahsoka.
Is that going to be Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she just finds it, eh?
Yeah.
She's boom. You're like, hey, there's Rosario Dawson in this fucking thing again. Like, girls
You're
all
the
over
best.
the place. She looks just like her.
Oh, she was perfect.
I swear to God, they like modeled the Ahsoka 10 off of her.
I know. And then who else? You got?
Holy fuck.
Then you got the Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba.
So a lot of stuff going on. Oh, you've got the Bad Batch, which is an animated Clone Wars.
A couple of clones went bad.
It's essentially
these ones in the dumpster, and then they lived.
So that's sort of true.
Batch.
It's like if one group of the clones was the Suicide Squad, maybe, but not
room
rated R.
Smells like rotten eggs. That's me. The Bad Batch.
We're a bad batch.
Not to be confused with the Bad Bitch.
Yeah.
Bad bitch.
I think the Emperor's going to be mad. So that was that. And then we were talking Jor-El.
There. See, that thing came up.
Yep. We were talking about Jor-El earlier. Russell Crowe is officially signed on to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, no way.
So he's now joining the cast of, Hemsworth and Portman and
Christian
Bale and Tessa Thompson.
I like to see Russell Crowe and Christian Bale freak out on each other.
Yeah, there's going to be one rage off that happens.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to actually rebuild. Why can't I think of the name of their home all of a sudden?
Who's home?
Thor's home.
Mjolnir.
Nope, that's the hammer.
Asgard.
Asgard, thank you. I couldn't, it just completely...
You're not even a fan. You haven't even seen me faking your way through this whole thing.
because my brain kept wanting to say Midgard, but I know that that's Earth, and I'm like, no, it's not Midgard. And you're like, how about Midgard? What about Midgard? I'm like, no, you know that's not...
What about Midgard?
Another thing I wanted to talk about, the death of Jessica Walter from...
Oh, yeah, I just saw that. I love that woman.
And George Siegel, who died like the day before.
Yep.
Really sad. I mean, the Jessica Walter one, just because I love Arrested Development so much.
And Archer.
Like, she just...
I saw her in something way back in the day, too. She was gorgeous.
Oh, I know. I just saw...
How was it?
She was in a tub. I saw the picture, and I was like, oh, my God, smoke show.
Woo!
But, she was just like next level funny. And then I was really kind of pissed though, because then, the usual thing happens. Because I guess there was a lot of like heat on that set where like Jeffrey Tambor was a bit of an asshole and he'd be yelling at people and doing whatever. And he had a pretty bad relationship with her in some parts. And they apparently worked out their shit. I mean, he had other problems later on, but they apparently worked out their shit. And then Jason Bateman, so she dies, and he writes like a nice little thing to her. And somebody just responds to the thing. It's like, don't even act like you even cared about her because you ghosted, or not ghosted, you... what's the word? You gaslit her when she was saying that like she was being bullied by Jeffrey Tambor, and you guys all stuck by him and blah, blah. Like, fuck off. She's saying like somebody he cares about died, and he's saying goodbye to them. Like,
you don't know what the hell happens backstage, right? Like, holy Christ.
But think about this: any person in your life dies. Imagine just somebody coming up and you bringing up the worst, like, like, say your mom dies, and it's like, oh, you remember the time when you did that shit, and you did that shit?
You don't even care.
You don't love her. Like, fuck off. Hardcore. I was just so mad at that. And then I felt bad for George Siegel because he died, and I mean, he's, legendary. He's been in stuff all the way back. But then he did, like, the same thing. I think it was, like, the same thing as Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett died, and then, like, the next day, Michael Jackson died. And it was
Stole the Death Thunder,
right? And then it was like
right out from under the carpet, babe.
I felt like that same thing happened, but I love George Siegel. I always refer to George Siegel as like alternate Elliot Gould because they sound almost identical. It's like, oh, I couldn't get the one guy, get the other guy. And
then there's Sal Rubinek.
Oh, Sal Rubinek. Oh my God.
Who's like like if it was twins, he's the Danny DeVito of their like. That is the sort of like the evolution of.
That's if the that's if like how they had the women's Ocean's 11. That's if they had the elderly Ocean's 11. I know Elliot Gould was one of Ocean's 11, but I'm putting him in like the active bunch now.
I want to see a picture of all three of them now. Like, I know. Get over it.
And the last thing I had to talk about, I wanted to talk about the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Not the Hall of Fame.
Not the Hall of Fame, just WWE in general? Okay, talk about your thing first.
Well, I guess, it's WrestleMania season.
WrestleMania.
And this card actually is like the best card that they've had in years.
Take me through it, because I do not know any of it.
They're stuck with all their regular dudes, and it's like so wicked. It's like Cesaro, for the first time ever, is having a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So who's like the best fucking wrestler. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Reigns. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Like, it's just, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens.
I know
WrestleMania.
None of these names. This is
amazing. That's like their dream. They're all gonna, every match is gonna like tear the fucking house down.
It's like it's like you're naming students from a school that's like nearby us, and I recognize none of the names. I'm like, these people have nothing to do with me. But then you said Edge, and it's like that one kid who moved out of our district into that district. I'm like, oh well, him I know.
I know Edge. Yeah, I know that guy.
Like he was a good guy.
Usually it's a bunch of bullshit matches, but this year, man, they're really knocking it out. And AEW. NXT's going to have a 2-night pay-per-view, which is going to kick ass.
Oh, cool.
So, like, for a whole week, it's just going to be, like, boner fucking town.
Is WrestleMania going to be 2 days as it yet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what is helping as well with get people on the card, but in good matches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sheamus versus Matt Riddle. I'm like, fucking A.
Sheamus is still...
Sheamus is wrestling the best of his entire career.
See, this is what's so hilarious to me, because, like, Sheamus is even well beyond when I stopped watching, but he was somebody that I had heard of.
Yeah, he was kicking ass.
He was, like, in that era when I was, like, still paying attention to what was happening. I was basically looking to find out if people I knew were dying. That was essentially all I was doing. It's the truth.
Who died today?
It's the truth. Oh, hey, look at like he had rabies or some shit. But yeah, it was just so crazy to me. And then I was like, okay, what am I doing? And I just stopped altogether. So he's one of those guys that I'm like, oh, he's got to be retired by now, too.
No,
that
he's
was so
kicking
long
ass.
ago. Okay, good for him. That's awesome.
He's doing great.
Yeah. But yeah, I got into a big rabbit hole of watching all of these.
Was it K-hole?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
No, but I got into this rabbit hole of all these different people finding out they were going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And it's been like, they were really nice emotional videos because it was just kind of sprung on them like while they were being interviewed or something.
Right.
Right. So the first one I saw was Undertaker telling Kane.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And like you see Undertaker, like you see, but like both of them, Kane more so, just emotional, not like weeping, but just kind of
like, oh, wow.
Whoa,
right. Like he wasn't going to be, come on, whatever.
No, exactly.
But still, right.
Exactly. And then people were like, "Oh, what? How's Undertaker not in it before Kane?" And I'm like, and then everybody instantly jumped on that. They're like, they're gonna do the Undertaker when there can be a crowd. Mm-hmm. He's like, there can't be a crowd right now. They're waiting to give Undertaker like 60,000 people to fucking cheer for him.
This WrestleMania is gonna be live. 45,000 people spread out over 3 states. It's be awesome. I think I can see something.
Yeah, exactly. It's live. Everybody in the world is technically in the audience.
And my WWE network is like broken right now or something.
Oh no,
it's not working. I can still watch it on the TV.
Yeah,
but I can't. I haven't seen NXT in like 2 weeks. I'm fucking losing it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just started eating my skin.
If you work for WWE Network tech support, please contact Todd immediately.
Just fix it. Don't call me.
Okay,
just fucking fix it.
Just fucking fix it. Not unfair. So the next one I saw though. Hurricane Helms, Shane Helms.
There's a hurricane coming down.
Whatever it is. Got to be the one to tell Molly Holly that she was going in.
Oh, yeah.
And she started crying. Well, they were both.
The girls were always bawling.
No, but so was he, like, because they were close friends there, and he was crying. They were crying, and then I saw Eric Bischoff get the news while he was being interviewed, and it's so
he
good.
He should be in there. Absolutely.
He should be because he has such an impact. Like, even if you didn't like what he did in WCW, which nobody really did, but well, at least towards the end, but he had such a huge impact on wrestling, period. And then I think, there's not enough bad things to say about Vince McMahon, but one of the good things he did was bring in his greatest rival.
Yeah.
And then,
because he's a smart businessman.
Exactly.
He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's like, is this going to make me money? And is this going to work for the company? Okay.
Yeah.
He worked for our opposite brand. He did what you do when you're on the opposite brand. You know what I mean?
Try and win.
I think AEW is a little, I don't know, childish. They're doing the same thing WCW is now. They just get all these old.
Yeah.
Oh, I just shit the couch.
Oh, God.
You're going to have to flip this cushion. Whoa. Woo. It's a scratch and sniff now.
Wonderful.
Jalapeno. Or jambalaya.
There it is.
There you go. The old jambalaya sniffer.
Anyways, but you're right, though. He's... Oh, I have my window open. I have my window open, and there's a horrible family out there who locks their door
crowd.
Constantly.
They're outside on the Todd, this is your baby. It's like a black baby. Todd, this baby. They're all my babies, baby. Woo!
All my babies are black because I've got weird sperm.
That's right. There ain't nothing wrong with that, boy.
That's at least what I told myself.
Joe, this is your baby. It's like a dog. Joe! And he winks at the bitch.
Were you near any of my socks when I was 14? Yeah. Then yeah, it's probably my baby. But it's it's like you said though. It's basically Bischoff is.
He was very influential.
He was doing what he was supposed to be doing, and they found a way to bring a lot of people together when when WCW closed down and all that, and it was impressive. Now the question is, and Rob Van Dam.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see him get told, but I saw the tweet from Paul Heyman saying, I just did the video of who I'm inducting into the Hall of Fame, but I won't tell you who, and it was him doing the thumbs picture. And so
David Putty? Everybody thought it was David Putty.
Yeah. But do we know any other people the Great Khali?
I don't know any of them.
The Great Khali apparently is coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't really understand.
I read somewhere that he killed a guy.
Nice. Probably by accident. Probably
They
stepped
call
on
him a Punjabi playboy for nothing, baby.
Nice.
He's like James Bond, only he's 17 feet tall and Punjabi.
He's James Bond who sticks out like a sore thumb. Remember, James, deepest cover. What? He just knocks over the Spectre headquarters.
He's got two Lamborghinis for shoes. Or Aston Martins, sorry. Yes. The Aston Martins, yeah. I like that, actually. I like that version of James Bond.
Q, he's like, I could make a bomb out of a pen, but I can't make shoes that fit you.
Yes, exactly right.
But it had me thinking, who's left?
Every single person, like Duke the Dumpster, Drosy, that's it. Yeah. That's who's left.
Because I was going to say, who is left that should be in there? And I started thinking through, like, the
Owen
80s.
Hart? Did they already put Owen Hart in there?
I think Owen's been in there longer than Brett.
Maybe they did put Owen in. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're waiting for a lot of people. Like, Austin's not in there yet. Like, Michaels, I don't think is in there yet. They're waiting. These guys are going to be live for a while. They know. They're like, okay, we'll just wait.
Yeah. Well, it made me think, too, because I was like, I think they should start putting people in.
Like The Rock.
Yeah. Oh, I think they actually are doing that because I think, like, DX went in. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and then Road Dogg went in by himself. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can kind of go in multiple ways. This is kind of like what,
and you can be in multiple times.
Yeah, this is like
Triple H, Shawn Michaels are in DX, and they're also going to be singular.
Yeah. Because, like, I was thinking about, like, the Beatles, because, like, for sure Lennon and McCartney are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, aside from the Beatles. I think George Harrison is, poor Ringo. But,
because they all had separate shit that came out,
Pete Best is out with his, that'd be amazing. Pete Best gets in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Ringo's like, "What do I need to do?" I was on an episode of The Simpsons, but
Ringo's the fucking man.
Dave Grohl right now, because he's first ballot for Foo Fighters to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, so that would put him in twice.
Oh yeah, for the old Nervy.
Yeah,
and the Foo.
The Foo.
What you gonna do?
Nirvana fought less Foos, so I think that Foo Fighters should get it just based on that.
I don't know if a Foo Fighters should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, if you look at the list, though, and you like, because once again, I don't fault, because they let a lot of people who are not rock acts in there. And I'm like, okay, you have to do one of two things. Stop calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Which would be my preference. Because like,
I would agree, because you can't put Tupac in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, but you could put him in the Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
No problem. And
because they have started putting more artists.
Yeah.
Isn't there a hip hop Hall of Fame? Like, get your own fucking hall.
Yeah. Well, this is my thing. Is like, I think they should just literally start calling it the Music Hall of Fame, and because
until collabos start though, you got to make it the music.
Yeah.
Because then fucking Tupac, when they turn the lights out and the wax figurines come to life, Tupac wanders over to the Eagles. Boom.
Now here's the real question. Is Tupac on the west wing of the building and Biggie on the east wing of the building?
They should do that. They should totally do that. They should make a night at the museum, only it's night at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wouldn't it be?
And they all come to life. Dude, that's a fucking huge movie right there.
There it is.
You can have all these people, like one person plays Jimmy, boom. Oh my God.
Night at the museum, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Ben Stiller, get your ass in
People fucking
gear.
love when, people play like, oh, this guy's playing, you can have all the big. It'll be like the new MonsterVerse or the new like the MCU. It'll be like, they just hired Channing Tatum to play Ringo, or whatever.
Because that's got to be the first joke you tell in that. Biggie, so help me God, if I see you going towards the west side again, like one more time.
Yeah, you can make lots of jokes. That's huge. Somebody rip that off so I can sue you.
So good.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, we got a movie coming next week.
All right.
And again...
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Time's been flying. But, so we got a movie coming next week, and it's a good one. It's one we haven't... I'm kind of surprised when I realized certain ones we haven't done.
I know, when you said it, too, I was like, what?
Oh, yeah. So, well, the one that we're talking about, the one that we're doing tonight isn't the one we're doing. Talking about
it's not the whatever.
This is what we've already recorded. But, yeah. So, anyways, it's an action classic, an 80s classic, technically a Christmas movie if you want to go that far, and it features one very racist man teaming up with a black dude.
Amazing.
Lethal Weapon, mofos.
He's not racist. He's suicidal.
Oh no, the character's not racist.
Oh, you mean in real life?
Yes.
Ah.
In real life.
You're blurring the lines,
Danny
bro.
Glover didn't just play a black dude. He went method.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's have a listen to this trailer.
He's a criminal's worst nightmare. A cop who enjoys the danger.
No guns, no jujitsu, just bring him down.
Do you really want to jump?
Well, then that's fine with me. Come on.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait a minute. What the?
He was ready to retire. Now, he's gonna wish he had.
Gun! Oh, oh, oh.
Raj, meet your new partner.
New partner. Too old for this.
If these guys can just stand each other,
What you got in there?
4-inch Smith.
A lot of old timers carry those.
the bad guys don't stand a chance.
Don't kill anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
I'm too old for this. Are you as good as you say you are?
Nobody can touch me.
Suppose we better register you as a lethal weapon.
You ever met anybody you didn't kill? Well, I haven't killed you yet.
And we're back. You're busted. All right, so that's what we're doing next week, guys. I think we're gonna cap that one off here because we got a late start today, and we got another movie to do that's 2 hours plus. So let us say goodbye.
This is like midday for me.
I know.
Like literally.
I gotta
Like maybe noon.
I gotta take the kids to school in the morning, so
Nice.
we gotta be good. So yeah, as always, visit us at podcast. Oh my God, forget it. I quit.
God.
Visit
Say
us.
God, connect me with miscast commentary.
I'm not. And he's like, for the last time, I'm not your fucking operator. Because he knows the only way to be truly edgy is to say the word fuck.
Oh, let me just say before we go here.
Yeah.
In this, I don't know if you ever watched Disenchantment. And this
I
guy,
still haven't watched it. You recommended I need to watch
He's
it.
trying, like, he goes to heaven, this one character. And, well, there's this guy, Jerry, and he's, like, really slow.
Yeah.
And he dies in an episode. And, but he's in all these episodes. He's, like, a great, hilarious character. And then the elf guy's in heaven, and he's trying to get to hell.
Yeah.
So he's, like, insulting God all the time. He's like, fuck you, God. God's like, oh, he's like, you're such a scamp. And then he's like, Jerry's an idiot. And he's like, you don't talk about Jerry. And he's just, he, like, drops him into hell. I
Perfect.
don't know why I just thought of that.
I don't know, but that's good.
Don't you? Because you said God.
Yes.
And he was so upset that he insulted Jerry, you know? Like, he's...
I get it. I wouldn't insult
Watch that
Jerry.
show. It's funny.
Go watch
And don't insult Jerry.
No. two lessons for the day. All right, guys, visit us at miscastcommentary.com. Email us podcast at miscastcommentary.com. Find us on Twitter at miscastpodcast. I'm at JK. No, I'm not. I'm at miscastjoe. Todd's at miscasttodd. Instagram at miscastcommentary. You can find us on Facebook, all those other great places.
I'm in frame.
Yeah, finally. It
My
only
back's
took
like not killing me.
it only-
I don't know why, because it looks like... Anyway, whatever. It's like aimed over there. I feel like I have to be like, hey,
Yeah,
but, it's
but
not.
you can just look at yourself and see that you look
weird.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
weird,
don't
man.
don't worry about the camera. Worry about your face on the camera. All right, guys. That is it for this week. We will see you next week with Lethal Weapon. Have a good one.
This has been Miscast Commentary with your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray. Executive producer, Joe Finley. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Visit www.miscastcommentary.com for all news related to the podcast. Miscast Commentary is a Miscast Media production.